As you can imagine, the events and allegations that have surfaced over the past few days have been very hurtful to our family. As is now public information, unfortunately, like so many families, locally and nationally, our family has also been impacted by opioid addiction. As the parent of a child who is an addict, I know all too well the devastation this creates. It is a harrowing journey that takes you down a road you never could have imagined you would be on. Instead of choosing a college campus for your child and visiting them on Parents' Weekend, you are choosing a rehab and visiting them in prison. I know this personally. I have been there. I also know how you spend every waking hour wondering if the next phone call you receive will be a devastating one. You spend every waking hour trying to cope with the addict's illness and find ways to help them, while at the same time trying not to lose yourself or your family. It is a crisis I wish on no one. So despite the despicable nature in which my son's addiction has been exploited and exposed, to have allegations of any unethical behavior by Dan in connection with his arrest is not only completely false, but brutally painful. And to have this concealed behind an anonymous mask makes it all the more shameful. While we know that our lives must be public to some degree, there are certain things that should not be used for political enterprise, and the struggle of an addict is one of them.
Thank you, Serena, for sharing the struggles that my family has been going through for many, many years, privately, until some anonymous person decided to allege false allegations against me and my role as your congressman. And I influenced the police department to take action that Timothy wasn't entitled to. These complete false allegations are 100% untrue. Today we are asking the House Ethics Committee to expedite this investigation, to bring this person forward, and to let them put their evidence forth. And we're going to have that person under oath testify about this evidence that they claim to have, and also talk about their co-conspirators, the people who coaxed them to bring forth this allegation, the people who instructed them on how to file an ethics claim against a member of Congress. One of the differences, and many times people have a difficulty distinguishing between candidates when people are running for public office. The main distinction between me and my opponent was the difference in our integrity. My opponent has lied to this community. My opponent told this community he was innocent of charges that were brought forth by the Justice Department against him. My opponent told this community he would be exonerated from those charges. My opponent, during his allocution of when he pled guilty and abandoned this community, having no voice in Washington during the last term of Barack Obama's administration, my opponent admitted to lying under oath during a deposition. I have lost friends because of the integrity of my office and the importance that I put on that. I lost the conservative line in one of my re-elections when I asked the court to appoint a special prosecutor in Jim Molinaro's grandson's case. I have never used my office for anything other than the purpose in which I hold it, to represent the people who sent me to Washington. But to use our family and the addictions that so many people are going through with their own families for a political gain is disgusting, outrageous, and the public should know about it. I am asking my opponent to denounce this. I'm asking him to come forward and tell us whether he had anything to do with it. And I'm asking this anonymous source to go to the Ethics Committee, and we're asking the Ethics Committee today to bring forth their investigation immediately, because after the primary, it won't matter. I don't know if Michael Grimm is the anonymous source, but someone had to instruct this individual, because most citizens would not know how to file a House Ethics Committee complaint. Someone who may know is a person who has had allegations made against them for threatening to throw a reporter off of the rotunda after the State of the Union address, for FEC filings. So someone who has had complaints against them filed might know how to do it. I was a prosecutor for 20 years. You don't have to have been a prosecutor for 20 years to put the pieces together on this.